Hello, and I'm going to come now to the catalog. Now the catalog does several things. It allows you to see books that are on our shelves. It will also give you the call numbers as well as source information, and then other locations locally and worldwide. And in addition to that, you can also see what results can be found for ebooks, articles, or streaming videos. So let me go ahead and enter in my keywords. And you'll notice that I don't have to type in all of my title. I have a nice type ahead right here. I can then click on the first one, and you'll notice it gives me 111 results. From here, if I scroll down under Format, you'll see that I can find books and articles. When I click on Show More, it tells me that there is one e-video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start first with the e-video. And when I click on that, it will give me this information here. Now, because I am going from the catalog to the databases, the first time I do this, I have to log in. So if I click on View Now, what will happen is I'll be brought to the database login screen. The instructions for logging in are given right here. They're very similar to what you use for Blackboard. Your username is the lowercase c followed by the first 7 digits of your CTC ID number. Your password will be your first and last initials in capital letters followed by your 6-digit birth date. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. Now, Films on Demand has a little quirk to it, and what I'm going to show you is a workaround that quirk, and this is it right here. For some reason, Films on Demand does not recognize the catalog's URL as being authorized to access the database. So here is the workaround. I'm going to close this window and open up a new tab. I'm going to come to the Libraries page and then click on Databases. And then under General Resources, I'm going to scroll down and click on Films on Demand. This will establish the connection that the catalog needs to connect to Films on Demand. Once this is fully loaded, I can close this window, then that window, and then I can come back here to View Now, and I'll be taken right to that video. And here's a picture of Herman Melville with the video Bartleby the Scrivener. This is actually a video of the short story being read. From here, what I have will be the segments for that short story, and then right next to it I have a transcript that I can then use and download to a file on my computer. Below the video, you'll see where it says Cite. And when I click on this, it will give me a generic citation that I can then copy and paste directly into my Microsoft Word document. And what you'll see here is where I've pasted that in previously. Now, what I need to do in order to put this in correct format is I do need to type in the name of the database. You'll see it here in italics, Films on Demand. The other thing I need to do is to change the URL to the correct URL for CTC. And the way to do that is when I close this box up here, you'll notice the URL box. This is where you get the CTC URL. Now, the other item that you'll notice with the citation that you're given by this database is it does give you an access date. Now, the access date, according to MLA, is only necessary when you're dealing with a volatile website. And by that, you're looking at a website that changes periodically, gets updated frequently, or a website that does not have a publication date. That is not the case with this particular video. So I'm going to close this and then come back to the catalog. I'm going to take off the limiter for eVideo. And then if I scroll down a little bit, you'll notice that I have two versions of the same book. One is an ebook and one is a print book. I'm going to concentrate first with the print book. This gives me the call number for the book. It also tells me that it's available. And then down here where it says Cite, I can choose my citation style, and then I have the citation right here in MLA style that I can then copy and paste into my document. And then if you come back here, you'll notice that I have the print version of that book given right here on my works cited list. Returning to the catalog, when I click on the title of the book and then view description, this tells me what kind of information will be held through the table of contents. And then as I scroll down, I have a little summary. And then if I come down a little further where it says libraries worldwide, you'll see what libraries in the Killeen-Fort Hood area also have this particular book. But I can also change the location to London, England, and see that this particular book is also held at these area London libraries. I can also put in a city, a state, or a zip code. So for instance, if I put in a zip code and tell it to search, this will tell me what libraries in that zip code area have this exact same book. Returning now to the library's catalog main screen, what I can do is I can come to this particular item. Let's see, let's go ahead with the Herman Melville and the American Calling. I'm going to click on View eBook. Now this is coming from the EBSCO ebook database, and you can check out ebooks by using the full download feature. Downloading the book is the same thing as going into a library and checking it out. I can also read the book online by coming here to the PDF full text. When I scroll down, you'll see I've got the table of contents here. And from here, I can click on the index to see what there is, or I can click on the plus sign and expand things out. And then just click on the particular chapter heading that I'm wanting. And that will allow me to go right to that first page. Now you'll also notice on the left here I have chapter downloads that I can do as well. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to email the pages to myself. This will give me the number of pages that I have a limit to. It also tells me how big the section is. For this example, I'm only going to use the current page. And then off to the right here where it says citation format, when I click on the down arrow, I can come to MLA. I'm going to put in my email address and then a subject that I can then use, and then I'll come over to here where it says email PDF and then continue. And then when I click on the link for my email, I have the attached file and I have the works cited information given to me right here that I can then copy and paste directly into my paper. And there it is right there. Now what I've done is I've added a little something to the EBSCO default source citation. Ordinarily what you would see is this information here where it only says EBSCO host for the name of the database. What I have done with my works cited information is I've actually added in the words ebook collection so that I know which of the EBSCO databases this specific item has come from. If I come back now to the catalog and then scroll up to where it says format, and then select the article or chapters, and then from here I can come and say I want full text articles. And if you have a professor that says that you must have peer-reviewed or scholarly journals, you can click on the peer-reviewed limiter. And then from here I can add an article very quickly and easily by clicking on View Full Text. This particular article is coming from JSTOR. And from here, I can use the citation feature to get the source citation. It does give me some options as to which of the styles I can use. Most of the time I'm going to be using MLA. I can just copy that and paste this right into my paper. And there is my article source citation, all very nicely formatted for me. If I choose to email this article to myself, I can come here to share and then come down to email. JSTOR will prompt you as to which email service you want to use. And so if you use more than one, just click on the one that you're needing. You can also download the article as a PDF file. So just from the catalog, you can see that it's very easy to pick up ebooks, articles, streaming videos, and print books. You can also get the source citations for them very quickly and easily. Now if I come up here to where it says Library Links and click on that, and then click on Choose Databases, this will take me right to the library's databases page. From here, I can click on Literature, and I can see all of the other databases that are available to me for the purposes of research. Now, in a Word About Short Story index, that index only tells you where to find a particular short story. Now, we've looked at JSTOR already. If I come up here to the Gale Literary Sources and click on that, it will bring up the database that I'm able to then type in my keywords. Again, you'll notice I don't have to type in all of the title. I have some type aheads that are showing up here as well. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this first one to search, and there are my results. I have 28 literary criticisms. I have topic and work overviews, reviews and news, primary sources, and multimedia. And again, I have the ability to limit for peer-reviewed journals if I so desire. If I come here to the topic and work overviews link and then choose the first one, what this will give me will be information about the plot and characters. So it gives me an overview of the story that I may be able to go and get very good information from. Then down here, I have the ability to get the source citation. Again, this database does provide the access date, and again, I don't need it because this is not a volatile website that will change at a moment's notice. So I can copy that information into my document, and when I come down here to look at my paper, you'll notice there is my source citation. Very nicely and easily done. Now I can also, if I come up here to the top, I can upload the article to Google Drive or to OneDrive. I can download it to my computer, or I can email it to myself. When I click on the email icon, I'll put in my email address as both the sender and the recipient. And then I can also put in the source citation in the message box, and that will make it appear a second time, but this time it'll be up at the top. So it's a way of having my source citation quickly and easily to handle, but I'll need to do some formatting because this will be a plain text Now I'm going to come up here to the Literary Reference Center, and from here I can type in my topic, and as I type this in, I'll have my type ahead of Bartleby the Scrivener, and I can click on that and tell it to search. This particular database will give me information about reviews of the short story. It also gives me the short story itself, and then it will give me information from like the master plots, critical analysis reference material. If I come here to where it has Bartleby the Scrivener, this is a review of the short story, and sometimes reviews are very good for information. So I can come here and see what kind of subject terms there are. I have a brief abstract. Now PDF gives you the article the way it appeared in print. So when I click on the PDF file, I will see the article as it appeared. And what is nice about this is that it gives me the page numbers so that when I do my in-text citation, I have that information. Now what I can do, because I'm in an EBSCO database, I have the ability to add this to a file folder. And then when I come back to my results list, you'll notice that the little file folder icon is yellow instead of blue. I can also come down to this one here, master plots, and this is an HTML formatted item, and from here I can get the full article in HTML text, and this will give me information about the style and technique. It talks about imagery. It also has information about themes and meanings, and these are all literary devices that you can use. So what I can do is, again, I can come here and tell it to add to my folder, and then come to my results list. And then I also have this item here. This was listed in the catalog, and so I'm going to go ahead and I can just add that directly to my information. This one also looks very good, so I'm going to add these to my folder as well. Now if I come up here to the folder view or to the folder, I can see exactly what items I have selected, and then I can pick and choose which ones I am wanting. If I want all 4, I can come here and say select all, and then I'll come here to email, and because this is an EBSCO platform, it works pretty much the way all the other EBSCO host items work. So I can come here and put in my email address, and then my subject heading, and then my citation format, and then tell it to send. This will send the items to myself. Now a little word of note, when you have items in the folder, let's see if I can go back here a bit. Yes, what you'll see is this little box right here. It says remove these items after emailing. If that box is checked and you want to keep your material in the box or in your folder, you would just click that off and it will take that off. And then if I come up here now to my inbox, you'll notice that I have a number of articles that have been sent to me. Now, items that are in PDF format are sent separately, and that's why I have 3 items here that have that paperclip as an attached file. If I have any that are just HTML, they're put in a separate one. And what's nice about EBSCO is that it will give me a batch listing of sources that I can then copy and paste. And then below there, any HTML items will follow afterwards. And you'll be able to tell one from the other because the title is bolded here. So if I return to the top, what I can then do is I can click on the works cited and then paste all of this information directly into my